First of all, I need to tell you about Healthy Cell because I actually got a really good night's sleep last night. I really did.
You did? Finally.
Yeah, I did. I feel pretty good. Listen, if you're not sleeping well, you should really consider taking REM sleep, the REM sleep from Healthy Cell. It includes melatonin, GABA. Is that how you pronounce it? Is it GABA?
I don't know. You know more about like you know more about the supplements and the things than I do.
Well, L-theanine is in it, and that's an amino acid, and that helps you relax. I'm all about that. Lemon balm and magnesium. I love that too. Magnesium is like super crucial for all sorts of things. It's really good for migraines if you have migraines. And it's cherry flavored. Healthycell.com/chicks, code chicks. You should be taking that if you have problems sleeping like me.
You should.
Fantastic stuff, you guys. Really good. Also, check out our newsletter. Go to our site, chicksontheright.com. Scroll down and you can see where you can subscribe to our newsletter. You should be doing that. You can be like getting doses of chicks every single day.
It's cool because it goes like this. Have you ever noticed that on our website? Yeah. If you like scroll down, it's like this banner that goes like this.
It just
I love that.
Technology is awesome, you guys. Great. Yeah.
I hope you guys are ready for a long show today because I feel like there's so much to get into. Tons of clips to show you from Trump's interview last night with Bret Baier. There was all kinds. I didn't even know that was happening. All I knew before when I went to bed last night is I knew that we were going to tell you guys that there's been a gag order placed on Trump. He's not permitted to talk about any of his defense, any of the case related to the classified documents. The gag order happened yesterday. So I was like, oh, wow. So we're just not going to be hearing much from Trump anymore. And then I wake up this morning and I'm like, wait a minute, what? So there's just giant interview with him where he does discuss all kinds of stuff related to the classified documents case. So I'm guessing that the gag order happened and then the Bret Baier thing was obviously recorded before that. And so I don't even know if that's going to get him into trouble or if it just is okay because it was dated a certain day. I don't know. But we're going to get into all of that for sure. And then a couple other things that we needed to mention. We didn't mention it yesterday because it wasn't as heated up as it is now. But there's this fight happening with Dr. Peter Hotez, which is one of the creepiest doctors ever that's always featured on
He's like BFFs with Dr. Fauci and he's Mr. get vaccinated.
Yeah.
Join. Yeah, he's that guy.
And so RFK Jr. was on Joe Rogan's show last week talking a lot about vaccines and all of this stuff. And essentially was like, I would love to debate Peter Hotez. Joe Rogan would love that debate to happen on his show. So he basically is saying, hey, Peter Hotez, we'll pay $1 million to charity of your choice, whatever, come and debate with RFK Jr. So then various investigative journalists have gone to Peter's house to ask him if he plans to debate. That has not gone over well. RFK Jr. is just like, whatever, man, I don't care. I'll debate you or not. I said what I said. And Peter Hotez is so far refusing to do this. And so there's the camp of people who are like, he's a coward. And if he really was able to debate RFK Jr., he would. And then there's the other camp of people who are like, all these people challenging other people to debates is stupid. Everybody's going to say what they want to say. They don't have to debate everything. So that's what's happening.
I'm in the camp where I think he should debate him. I think he should. Because listen, I think it was Joe Rogan. At first, I think he offered him $100,000 and he's like, we'll give all the money to a charity of your choice. And then Elon Musk chimed in and he's like, do you not like charity? What? Which I thought was a great comment. I mean, it's like, why wouldn't you? And if you believe wholeheartedly in what you're spewing, why wouldn't you want to do that? If he really believes in all this vaccine stuff, and honestly, like we've said, I've said it, I think we need to have some conversations about this stuff. And they were suppressing people. He especially was suppressing a lot of conversations about this stuff for a very long time. And he wanted to suppress other people and other people's medical opinions. So, why would he not want $1 million to be given to a charity of his choice if he so wholeheartedly believes in all of the crap that he believes in? Get out there and talk about it, so what?
I mean, I would love it, but I also understand that, like, there's all kinds of people who are always demanding debates with people. Like, what if Alyssa Farah just put out on Twitter, the chicks need to come and debate me? And if we didn't want to do that, then like people were reacting like you are right now. Why don't they just debate? Why don't they stand up for what they believe in? You know what I mean? Like, RFK Jr., like Peter Hotez is a doctor. RFK Jr. is an environmental lawyer. So in some ways, I feel like RFK Jr. has done a lot of homework and he has very strong thoughts about this. But I would actually prefer seeing a debate between Hotez and, say, Jay Bhattacharya, another physician who actually is in the same field of medicine. That I would like to see. But like, I don't know. I mean, is it? It's just, I feel like too many people are constantly asking people to debate, and it's like, if you don't do it, then you're somehow a coward. What if you just don't want to deal with it?
I totally see your point. Like, make it a level playing field where it's a doctor against
yeah.
I see. I totally understand what you're saying. I think that's valid. I think that's totally valid. Plus, Alyssa, what's her name, would never ask us to.
I know. I'm just saying.
No, but I do see your point, and we're nobodies.
Right.
It's like, I would be like, why? Why would you want to give me $1 million to debate?
And if you did, I will show up. I don't even care if I'm right.
It's like, I know, right? If you're going to give me $1 million, I'll show up and I'll lose. I don't care. That's fine. I'll just take the $1 million and look like an idiot. I need that. I need the $1 million. But thanks. And it's like, okay. All right.
I mean, it just, anyway, that's a thing that's happening, and it won't die. Like, this hullabaloo will not die on Twitter. Hotez was just tweeting last night saying thank you to people like freaking George Takei for having his back. And like, I mean, it's just so dumb. It's gotten out of control.
The Star Wars, not Star Wars. I'm sorry. The Star Trek guy, that guy. Okay.
Yes. I mean, that's how everything is so dumb.
World. What is it? This is why aliens pass us by, you guys. They're just right? Like, nah, we're good. We're good.
Everything is just so freaking dumb. Everything
is so stupid. Yeah.
I wanted to mention that for sure before we get into videos. Also, I do want to mention as well that there's a special going on right now with Genucel.com/chicks, and that is the Summer Essentials package. Let me tell you what this includes. It has the ultra retinol. This is like a total favorite of both of ours. This is the super amazing moisturizer that keeps, and listen, summer is the time that you need to stay hydrated, and your skin is included in that, right? So the ultra retinol is great for that. I don't want to leave anything out. It also has their classic skincare therapy for your under eye bags and puffiness, and the concentrated vitamin C serum is included. And if you get the Summer Essentials package, they're going to throw in the immediate effects for free. This is the stuff that like you put under your eyes and you're like instantaneously awake. It's amazing. And so you don't have to waste money or time trying to figure out like what you're going to get injected or, filled or whatever. Don't do that. You just need good skincare, and you can get that at Genucel.com/chicks. All right. I don't want to bring the party down.
We're bringing it down. We got to
bring it down a little bit because of this whole Titanic thing, you guys. So there's like 5 people that inexplicably have decided that they needed to see the Titanic in person.
Did you know that it's like $100,000 to get on one of those things?
No, it's $250,000 per person.
My God, it's that much?
Yeah.
Okay.
It's ridiculous.
I stand corrected. That's a lot of money.
It's a lot of money. And so these people that went down for this excursion they've not been heard from since they were pinged last, like somewhere right above the Titanic ruins. And now they've not heard from anybody. I think at this point they've got less than 20 hours of oxygen left. And that's even if they're alive, because we don't know what happened to them. So I want to give you an update from a Titanic expedition leader who was on with Jesse Waters last night. And this was last night. Okay. So we're 12 hours ago or whatever. And he was giving his assessment of what is going on. And it's not good, you guys. Here he is.
Leader and founder of RMS Titanic Inc. All right. So, G, you know people that are trapped on this thing?
Yes, unconfirmed reports that there are 3 people on there out of the 5 that one of them used to be one of my sub pilots, and it's just a sad day for our industry.
I'm so sorry to hear that. The oxygen situation, is there any way to remedy that?
No, we carry O2 bottles with us in the submersible, and you also have CO2 scrubbers, and the O2 will last longer than your CO2 scrubbers, and if those CO2 scrubbers go, and depending on what actually happened at depth, just not feeling good about it.
What could possibly have happened?
Worst situation is, something happened to the hull, and our fear is that, it imploded at around 3,200 meters.
Oh,
and is there anything that the U.S. Navy can do right now?
No. I mean, I don't see anything that can happen at this point. I mean, I'm trying to be, somewhat cautious and, don't want to basically be the naysayer of what's going on. But when you're talking 6,000 pounds per square inch, it is a dangerous environment. More people have been to outer space than to this depth of the ocean. And when you're diving in these situations, you have to cross your T's, dot your I's. You have to do everything absolutely perfect and by the book. And throw in a bunch of tourists in a new sub that, was just created over the last several years. It's not looking good, Jesse.
All right. Well, thanks for joining us in this tender time. And we're going to be praying for everybody on that sub.
Why? Why do you want to do that?
Right? I
don't know why you want to do that. I mean,
Oh my
listen,
God.
I know people are all seeking adventures and stuff like that. But I mean, I just don't get that mentality. I just don't. It's like the whole climbing Everest and doing all that kind of stuff. I don't even want to scuba dive, you guys. That's not my thing. So I cannot wrap my brain around somebody who'd want to pay $250,000 to go do this. I don't get it.
Well, I watched this morning, an old, I don't know if it was a 60 Minutes or 2020, one of those shows where one of their people from the show actually did this, right? So they were one of the tourists. This was on an excursion previously. And it was a 10-minute clip that I watched, and it was horrifying in that so many times that they tried, stuff went wrong until they finally got it right. There was always something going wrong. The weather was wrong. Something broke on the submarine. What do they call it? A submersible. Something was constantly going wrong. And I was just like, okay, this is a sign, right? This is when you don't go. And then, the guy went and they saw it and he's super glad he went. But the problem is, here's just a 12-second clip, okay, from the 10-minute thing that I watched where you learn about how this thing is made. And by the way, the inside of it fits 5 people not very comfortably. It's like the size of a minivan.
Oh,
okay?
God.
I mean, talk about claustrophobia.
Oh, my God, no way.
Listen to what the guy that's responsible for this whole creation, listen to how it's built.
Pieces of this sub seemed improvised.
We can use these off-the-shelf components. I got these from Camper World. We run the whole thing with this game controller.
Come on!
That's how that thing works, you guys.
It's just from Camper World.
Oh my God.
Oh my God is right. Wow.
Yeah. So
I just cannot. It's we're going to just charge you $250,000 to go to the depths of the sea.
Thank you, but no.
Yeah, I'm just going to go ahead and pass on that.
Yeah,
I mean, let's
pass.
The first reason is that it costs $250,000. The second reason is I don't want to die. And then, the third reason is I could not be trapped on a minivan that far under the water with a bunch of people I don't know.
Where they're using a joystick to freaking navigate the thing.
No, thank you.
Oh my God.
No.
Wow. But these people are there and I hope that they somehow miraculously are alive.
I can't. Yeah, I just can't.
What were you about to say?
I was just going to say, somebody said that I can't see the comment now, but somebody said they were using silly putty as caulking.
Seriously. Oh, well, that was the other thing. When those people get in there, the only way to seal them in is to like use freaking bolts. Like they have to be bolted in from the outside. And so the whole thing, I just cannot imagine wanting to do that. But these people, they really wanted to do it.
Yeah.
Anyway, oh God. It's just awful. 250. Wow.
I know.
And by the way, the whole thing is like, except for the titanium end caps, the whole thing's just made of like 5 layers of carbon fiber. Like, it just seems to me that is something that should not, and it's not like it's been, approved or regulated in any way. It's just, and these people were like, yes, I would like to pay $250,000 to risk my life to see the Titanic underwater. Just go look at some pictures. Watch the movie. It's basically the same.
That is really nuts that like there's no regulation there, but yet I'm forced to wear my seatbelt. You know what I mean?
Right.
What is that?
It's pretty weird. Okay. Pretty weird. All right. We got to get to this Trump interview. If you didn't see it, there's a lot of clips to get to. So keep in mind again that he now has a gag order, and I don't know how that's going to play with the fact that he already was definitely not gagged in this interview. So the first few clips I have for you are about specifically the classified document hullabaloo. And more specifically, the first clip that you're going to hear is Bret Baier asking him directly, what gives with that recording of you saying and like flashing and waving around a classified document saying that you could have classified or unclassified it, but now you can't. Like, what's the deal with that? And you'll hear Trump's explanation for that. We'll start there. Here we go.
Declassified it while you were president, but quote, now I can't. This is still secret, highly confidential. And the indictment cites the recording and the testimony from people in the room saying you showed it to people there that day. So you say on this on tape,
it says just the opposite,
that you can't declassify it. So why have it?
When I said that I couldn't declassify it now, that's because I wasn't president. I never made any bones about that. When I'm not president, I can't declassify.
And that's what you said. You didn't declassify it.
I said, no. I said I couldn't.
But that
wasn't a document, Brett. There was no document. That was a massive amount of papers and everything else talking about Iran and other things. And it may have been held up or may not, but that was not a document. I didn't have a document per se. There was nothing to declassify. These were newspaper stories, magazine stories, and articles.
I'm just saying what the indictment says.
Well,
the recording and the people in the room who testified.
These people are very dishonest people. They're thugs. They're thugs. If you look at what they've done to other people, what they've done to and overturned in the U.S. Supreme Court, these are thugs. These are dishonest. The only way NARA could ever.
So there's the first clip. So I don't know if you were able to take away if there was a document, he wasn't holding it up, or there was no document. And that did not go well to me. I don't know that helps him in any way.
Yeah. He alludes to the fact that he believes that they're lying and that that there was like shenanigans in the background.
Oh yeah.
In other clips too. So it's all very interesting. Like I'm not sure why he did this interview, Like
yeah,
it's just,
I don't know either.
Like,
I feel like his lawyers have to be like, please stop talking.
Right. Cause I mean, listen, Fox isn't friendly anymore.
Right.
It's like if he wanted a friendly interview, perhaps he should have chosen Newsmax or OAN or something, somebody who would just like, I don't know, not be combative if that's what he was looking for. I just don't know. Maybe he feels like they have a bigger audience, but I don't think their audience is that big anymore. You know what I mean? Like,
Well, he basically also says in this next clip that NARA, the National Archives, would have had to have come to him and said, please, 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 can we have our documents back? So this is another kind of an odd clip. I'll let you guys hear that.
Thugs. The suggestion, the only way NARA could ever get this back would be please, 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 could we have it back?
And they
please,
asked for that.
Because they have no. We
they
were
did
talking.
Ask for it.
No, and
they said,
I gave
"Can you
them
give the documents back?"
And we were talking.
And then they said they went to DOJ to subpoena you to get them
which
back.
they've never done before.
Right.
And
but why not just hand them over then?
Because I had boxes. I want to go through the boxes and get all my personal things out. I don't want to hand that over to NARA yet. And I was very busy, as you've sort of seen.
Yeah, but
I've
according to
been
the
very, very
indictment,
busy.
you then tell this aide to move to other locations after telling your lawyers to say you'd fully complied with the subpoena when you hadn't.
But before I send boxes over, I have to take all of my things out. These boxes were interspersed with all sorts of things.
So why didn't he just go through them and get his shit out and then give everything back? I will never understand this. Like, this has been a year that they were asking. And then there was the subpoena. So in that year, I get that he's very busy, but like, why not just open them, take your shit out, and then give back what needs to be given back? This is what I don't understand. Help me understand.
It's a great question, but you know, maybe he was busy. I don't know. I don't know.
Year?
Yeah. I mean, he had a lot to do. He was, you know what I mean? He was in charge of a lot of stuff, you know?
He was in charge of a lot lot of stuff, I guess.
He had a lot of responsibility. That's maybe he just had a lot to do. I don't know. If that's his defense, that's his defense. I don't know. I mean,
this is the last we're going to hear it, I guess, until it gets to trial because of the gag order now. So but now it's like, I guess this gives us an idea of what his defense would look like. And so he's asked by Bret in this next clip if he still has any documents.
Radical left group, by the way. And all of a sudden, my house got raided.
Do you know if you still have any highly sensitive government documents?
No, I don't have anything, no.
Okay.
But what I'm concerned about, they took everything, right? I don't know what they took. They could be stuffing it. I don't know what they put in there. And we wanted to be there when they were taking. They wouldn't let anybody in the room. They've never treated a president like this.
And that's fair for you to point out. I guess what this points to is this recording where you said you could have declassified it when you were president. You didn't.
No,
so
I
it's
could
still
have
classified.
when I was president, but there's no document there. Those were newspaper articles.
Okay.
They were copies of articles and magazines. There was no document there. And I couldn't have done it after I was out.
This is what you said in 2016 about handling this. The indictment.
All right. So he's saying he doesn't have anything anymore.
Right. But he's insinuating, though, that they may have done like the whole shenanigans thing. They may have done something. He doesn't know what they did. It's like they took it away and then God only knows what they did to make him look bad or make him look worse. And it's kind of like the photographs that we saw. Remember when they raided Mar-a-Lago and the photographs that we saw? It's like, I don't know. Was that real? Was it staged? Do we know? I don't know. Do you know? Does anybody know? We don't know. And so there's like this whole insinuation that they can manipulate information to make it look a certain way. And that's what I got out of that. I don't know. I don't know what I don't know.
Yeah.
You know? So
but you know how you would know is if you knew what was in the boxes. Like, to me, it's like if I'm having a hard time understanding, like if I'm ex-president and I've got all this crap at my house and I want it and it's mine and I have interspersed in there personal stuff and I get a call from not just the National Archives, but then attorneys and then the Department of Justice and all these people coming after me who have been known to come after me for years now. They're clearly my enemies and they're coming after me saying, you need to give this stuff back. I would be thinking, I'm going to go look in those boxes and make sure that it's stuff that I'm supposed to have or separate out my personal items or whatever. Like, I wouldn't just not look in them. And that's why I just don't understand why it seems in some ways like he just blew this off and just thought, I can do this. They're mine and bye. Like, you don't get to mess with me. And it's almost like there's this air of overconfidence that he thought there's no way that they're going to come after him, which is weird considering how much they constantly come after him. You know what I mean?
It is a little bit weird, but he may have thought in the back of his mind, well, nobody else got in trouble for this.
Right.
I mean, Hillary Clinton did this and, you know, Biden did that and whoever else did this and other people have had this kind of, so it's like, what's going to happen to me? Probably nothing. And now look where we are.
Yeah. Well, and he was asked about Mike Pence's reaction to all this because, of course, Pence is, running against him. And he is saying that Pence did the same thing. But I don't think that's true because I think Pence had his lawyers come and search his house. The lawyers came, they searched, they found stuff, and then they just took them. So I don't think this is totally accurate what his response is here, but here it is.
indictment contains serious charges, and I cannot defend what's alleged.
Mike Pence had documents that were classified.
And he turned them over.
No, he didn't turn them over. He got caught. His lawyers found some documents, and then he turned them over. Why did he have them? He shouldn't be saying that because he had classified documents. And immediately they said, oh, that's okay. And I suppose it's going to be okay with Biden, too, even though he has them in Chinatown, even though he has them in Delaware, and probably 100 times more than I have.
So you're not worried about this case?
Based on the law, zero. Zero. Presidential Records Act, plus the Clinton case, which was won by Clinton as president because he took tapes of leaders in his socks. Zero.
Okay.
Zero. And every good lawyer has said it, and you've seen that. Every good lawyer has said that.
He's very confident.
I mean, he is very confident. I do worry about that confidence though, because it's like, it's not a comparison between other people. I think that's one of the reasons that he did what he did, because he did compare himself to other people. He's like, oh, I'm going to be fine because so-and-so did it and this person did it and that person did it. And it's fine. Nothing happened to them. But the problem is that when you're in the courtroom, when he will be in the courtroom, they're not going to be comparing him to other people. I get it. We do that. We do that because it's not freaking fair what's happening to him. But when he's in the courtroom, that's not going to be a defense. But they did this and they did this and they did this. They're not going to care. They're going to be looking at him as a singular person. And that is what concerns me about this.
And it should concern him, but maybe he is concerned, but just doesn't want to show it. So, because he's just like, I have zero concerns about this whatsoever. So, I mean, he's very, very confident. And I am also confident in how much you will love the Giza Dream Sheets from MyPillow if you have not yet tried them. So you guys, new special. Yesterday, there was some confusion. So I just want to clear up the confusion. Yesterday, the big towel sale, the $25 sale on sets of towels. You will get that if you go to mypillow.com/chicks. The /chicks is extremely important. I saw a couple people who went to just mypillow.com and they were like, I didn't get the deal. That's because you have to put the /chicks. And there you will see that not only is there still the $25 towels today. So I don't know how long they're going to keep it up, but it's there right now. I checked this morning, but now they also have 50% off the Giza Dream Sheets, but you got to go to mypillow.com/chicks. /chicks. Very important to add the /chicks and then use code chicks. And then you will get the 50% off the Dream Sheets, which are amazing. And they're the only thing that I like to sleep on anymore. You can also still, I'm not sure for how long, get the $25 sets of towels. So go there as soon as you can and stock up because I don't know how long these sales are going to last. mypillow.com/chicks. Very important to do the /. Okay. Bret wanted to talk also to Trump about his not necessarily great record on hiring people around him, right? So there's so many people who he hired who now are like steering clear. And so Bret wanted to ask him about that. What would be different this time? Here is the beginning of that.
Ambassador to the United Nations, Nikki Haley, she's running against you. Your former Secretary of State, Mike Pompeo, said he's not supporting you. You mentioned National Security Advisor John Bolton. He's not supporting you either. You mentioned Attorney General Bill Barr, says you shouldn't be president again, calls you the consummate narcissist and troubled man. You recently called Barr a gutless pig. Your second defense secretary is not supporting you, called you irresponsible. This week, you and your White House called your White House Chief of Staff, John Kelly, weak and ineffective and born with a very small brain. You called your acting White House Chief of Staff, Mick Mulvaney, a born loser. You called your first Secretary of State, Rex Tillerson, dumb as a rock. And your first Defense Secretary, James Mattis, the world's most overrated general. You called your White House Press Secretary, Kayleigh Kennedy, milquetoast. And multiple times you've referred to your Transportation Secretary, Elaine Chao, as Mitch McConnell's China-loving wife. So why did you hire all of them in the first place?
Because I hired 10 to 1 that were fantastic. We had a great economy. We had phenomenal people in charge of the economy. We had phenomenal people in the military. I'm not a fan of Milley, and I'm not a fan of certain of the television people. But I knocked out ISIS. I defeated ISIS. They said, Mattis, It would take 3 years, and I don't think we can do it. I did it in a period of like 4 weeks.
There's a lot of people who praise you for your policies. I just said that.
That's true. Well, I mean, you just went through a list. But don't forget, for every one you say, I had 10 that love us.
They love him. For every one, there's 10 that love him. And I think that's probably true based on our audience.
Totally. They just don't have to work with him.
Right. So he went on to even talk about Alyssa Farah, which I was not expecting from Trump to hear that name.
Very interesting, this clip. Yep. Mm-hmm.
But I will tell you that something happens when people leave. They can like me very much. I have this woman named Alyssa Farah. She said the greatest things long after she left. He's the greatest president we've ever had. He was unbelievable. Then The View offered her a contract. But obviously only if she changed her views. And all of a sudden she can say negative things. Money gets offered to people, and some people change.
But there's people on that list that are not taking money that decided that they're not
for the most part,
you.
they are. You know, Barr did a book. Barr was a coward. The name people that you name, for every person you name, I can name 20 people that loved the administration. And maybe more importantly, the voters love the administration. The voters are dying to get back to it, Brett. The voters are tired of being laughed at all over the world. We're run by a fool. We're run by a man that doesn't have a clue.
I want to talk about foreign policy.
During the course of that 4 years, I know the best people. Remember this. We took out ISIS. We developed Space Force. I rebuilt the military. I got the largest tax cuts in history. I got the largest regulation cuts in history. I did right to try so that people don't have to die without a chance. We could use space age medical knowledge, and we have the greatest labs in the world. I did all of these things and much, much more. Nobody's ever seen it like that. One other thing. Russia would have never invaded Ukraine. China would never be talking about even the concept of going into Taiwan. Would have never happened. I was getting out of Afghanistan. We would have gotten out through dignity and strength. Instead, it was the most embarrassing moment in the history of our country. These are all great things, and people want them back.
He's right. I mean, he's right about all those things.
I think he's most effective when he talks about what he accomplished and not when he's mean to people and not when he's rehashing 2020. He is best when he reminds us of all of his great accomplishments. I wish that would be his sole focus all the time.
When he's talking about the policy, all the things that he did right and everything, he's 100% correct. I mean, I think the voters do like him. They like what he did. So, I mean, I can't dispute that. But I don't think that Kayleigh McEnany was milquetoast.
Right. And I don't think she's deep state, for crying out loud.
I don't think she's deep state either. I don't. I disagree on that. And I saw her speak in Waco, and she had a lot of really nice things to say about him. A lot of nice things to say. And so, you know, if he saw that speech, he would probably think different about her. So there's a couple things like about the things that he speaks. When he speaks poorly of people, kind of rubs me the wrong way, because there are a lot of people who, as he would say, are very loyal to him. And so that rubs me the wrong way. But, you know, I mean, he's effective. He was an effective leader. And
there's no question.
Right.
That's what he needs to focus on. And now, granted, Bret Baier was peppering him with questions about the documents case, right? So he's got to answer to those. But you know, when he starts rehashing the past, especially 2020, or when he's just nasty to people, I'm just like, I'm just going to turn you off.
Right.
When he starts talking about the stuff that he did, I'm like, that's the Trump that I remember, that I appreciated, that America needed, and he did such good things for the country. He does have, you know, probably his biggest challenge in the next election will be with women, and obviously liberal women, but also independent women who get turned off by some of the nastiness. So Bret asked him, you know, how are you going to convince those women to get back on your side? I think there's just 2 clips for this, and we'll just play them back to back. It's kind of slow.
Who struggled with family financing because of inflation. She's now against Biden, disapproves of Biden. but wasn't with you in 2020, and so far is a hard no for you in 2024. But what do you say
You're
to
not
that?
looking at the right polls.
What do you say? What do you say to that female independent suburban voter who feels that way? To win her back?
First of all, I won in 2020 by a lot, okay? Let's get that straight. I won in 2020.
You know that this,
and if you look at all of the tapes, if you look at everything that you want to look at, you take a look at Truth to Vote, where they have people stuffing the ballot boxes on tapes. Or let's go to recent. Well, wait a minute. Let's go to recent. FBI Twitter. Let's go to recent. The 51 agents. All corrupt stuff, Brett.
Understand about the Hunter Biden.
No, but
all
that's cheating
fair
on the
things.
election.
But
that's cheating on the election.
You lost the 2020 election.
Brett, you take a look at all of the stuffed ballots. You take a look at all of the things, including things like the 51 intelligence agents.
There were recounts in all of the swing states. There was not significant widespread
We're trying
fraud.
to get recounts, real recounts, not just numbers of votes
widespread
cast.
corruption. There was not a sense of that. There were lawsuits, more than 50 of them, by your lawyers, some in front of judges that you appointed.
Look at Wisconsin.
That came out with no evidence.
Wisconsin has practically admitted it was rigged. Other states are doing the same right now, and it's continuing on.
There have been
It was
reviews
a
of
rigged
every
election.
potential case of voter fraud in 6 battleground states, and they found fewer than 475 cases.
You know why? Because they didn't look at the right things.
Okay,
Brett.
are you going
they
to
were
be
counting? They were counting ballots, not the authenticity of the ballot. The ballots were fake ballots. You had this was a very rigged election.
Are you going to go? This is how you're going to tell that independent suburban woman voter
No,
to vote for
we're
you?
off to winning an election, and I think we're winning very well. I got a poll just recently. I have it here.
No, I know, and I watched the numbers.
I've shown you every poll. I showed you where we're leading by tremendous numbers, and we're leading with women, huh?
You know.
Okay, but how are you? What I didn't get out of that clip was, how are you going to help secure election integrity in the next election, the 2024 election? Like I just heard a lot of bitching and moaning about 2020. I need to hear solutions for how seriously, moving forward, how is he going to secure elections? How is the RNC going to secure elections? Instead of like rehashing the past, okay, this is what we're going to do to make sure the election's not going to be, Igre. And then how, as you would say, and how everything's going to be on the up and up. This is what we're doing. This is what we're doing, Brett, to make sure everything's going to be on the up and up. Okay, that's what we're doing. And then number 2, this is how I'm going to make sure that I am going to woo those independent woman suburban voters, which I don't understand how any woman at this point can be an independent. I mean, if you don't fall on one side or the other, who the hell are you? I don't understand these women. Like, I don't get it. Who are you? Seriously, like, make up your mind, lady. At this point, I don't how are we? We're pretty polarized in this country. So if you're in the middle and you're like, I don't know, like, what? All right. I've not met a woman that is that person. I just don't understand where these women live. I don't get it. But all right. I need to understand how he's going to bring those women into the fold. So
that was the question.
That was the question. I didn't get the answer to that. I really feel like he needs to probably figure out a way to answer that question. Maybe think about it, ponder it a little bit, and then answer those 2 questions. One is, how we're going to
it would be so easy. It would be so easy for him to just say, how will I remind those women of why they should vote for me? I will take them back to pre-COVID and ask them, what were your grocery bills? What was your gas bill? How much did it cost you to feed your family every month? These are the things that he did so well. And he could just point back and say, these are my policies and how they will help you. That's it. It's so easy.
To the women that aren't housewives, what does your 401k look like?
Right.
I mean, it's not just women that are staying at home. There are women who have jobs who were kicking ass in a really great economy. So appeal to those women too, and see what they think about how their lives are right now compared to how they were when he was in office economically. And I bet you he would be able to fold them in. Just ask them. Is your life better now?
What he would do. He did it really, really well. Yeah. All he has to do is say, look at what I did for you pre-COVID. Look, were you worried about your sons going to war? No. There's so many things that he can point to that he did really, really well. And instead he's like, we won the election. And then they have a big fight about that. nobody wants to hear that anymore.
No, they don't.
And if we're going to hear it, you're right. We better hear about what he's doing specifically
Solution.
to make sure it doesn't happen again.
Yeah.
And instead, we just get like this back and forth, and it's just. Anyway, I don't think that was a particularly helpful interview for him, but it is probably going to be the last time we hear from him, at least on matters of the documents for ever, because now there's a gag order on him. So anyway, he's got so many good things that he could say, and somebody needs to help him say those things.
Positive things. He needs to be a little bit more
Yeah.
positive. Yeah, because there was a lot of positivity, back when he was president, so much to be grateful for. And so he really needs to start doing that during his campaign. I know a lot of things are stacked against him right now, but if he wants to be president again, he really needs to start focusing on the positive, because there's a lot of it. There was a lot of it. Mm-hmm.
And a lot of what he was saying was just like the polls, the polls the polls look great for me. Well, how did the polls look for Hillary against you? Do you remember that? Every poll was pointing to Hillary beating his ass, and he won. So we all should know that's not what you rely on. You got to rely on a little bit of anecdotal word on the street type of stuff too. You got to get a finger on the pulse of what's happening.
It's a great point.
Right?
Great point.
Anyway.
Mm-hmm.
Good news for Trump is that Alan Dershowitz continues to be very, very favorable about his classified documents thing. I've got one clip to share with you about that I think should be. I don't know why Trump just doesn't hire him. Can he? Like, is that a thing? Because there are some good lawyers out there that he could really stand to get some benefit from. So if Dershowitz is willing to join the team, man, this would be great. Here he is.
The lawyers advising just giving back these documents. And you write in the Wall Street Journal, Trump did what he always does. He attacked Jack Smith and resisted his efforts. So you would know firsthand, can he be a difficult client?
He'd be a difficult client, but being a difficult client doesn't mean that you should be prosecuted for a crime when you're running for president against the incumbent president. Mm-hmm. There has to be the strongest possible case to justify that. I call it the Nixon standard. In Nixon's case, he destroyed evidence, he bribed witnesses, and Republicans and Democrats alike wanted him to be removed from office. Mm-hmm. That standard hasn't been met here. And in order to prosecute somebody who's running for president against the incumbent, it has to be not only slam dunk, but it has to be something that's just inescapable. And I think the country would have been better off if he had not been prosecuted, even though clearly, by his own admissions, he did possess classified material. Right. Also, nobody should mention the word espionage here, in court or out of court. This is not an espionage case. He didn't sell to enemies. He didn't hurt the national security. This is a documents case. And the question is, should you bring a documents case, even if it's a strong documents case, and interfere with the election in this way? I think that's a hard question.
Yeah, it's a difficult call. Since it looks like there will be a
what's going on with the ceiling in his office?
Oh my God, I was thinking that too. The whole time I'm so distracted by all the pictures on the ceiling. I'm thinking to myself, how did somebody get them all up there? Like, that had to have been such a pain in the ass to hang all those pictures. Like, seriously.
Okay, I'm glad it wasn't just me, because I feel like this weird tilt looking at him.
It looks like it's one of those attic ceilings, like a dormer ceiling.
Yeah.
And somebody had to get up there and hang those pictures. Like, God, that must have taken forever to do.
It bothers me. I don't like it.
It's very distracting. It's a dormer. Yeah, it's a dormer. It's very distracting.
Yeah. It's just odd. Whew. Anyway. Yeah. So see, he's just like, there's not a good enough reason to even bring this case. And that is an interesting argument, right? I mean, that is I don't know that it's going to help anything, but it should. It should be something that a judge and a court looks at because the prosecution is going to, or I'm sorry, the defense, Trump's team is going to be like, we're going to motion to dismiss all of this because this is ridiculous. And maybe that'll actually be part of that case. And maybe that's a good call.
Let's hope.
Yeah. I mean, that would be.
Because it is ridiculous. This all is ridiculous. We're living in ridiculousness right now.
Total ridiculousness. Mm-hmm. And it gets more ridiculous when you think about Biden. I've got a couple clips to show you of Biden that are just sort of extraordinary. So it's very short and it's easy to miss what he's saying here. But you guys have heard of ESG, right? Environmental social governance. This is sort of this new way of putting social credit scores on businesses. How much does a business or a corporation pay attention to social justice, environmental causes, social governance issues? And then they get a score. This is why so many companies feel like they have to cater to the woke crowd. It's because of this ESG governance stuff. So now there are some companies that are fighting back, and they are starting to sue banks, for example, who are deciding whether or not to lend them money based on their ESG scores, which is freaking China. That's so commie.
It's so
and
communist.
So Biden went off script yesterday and kind of started to mention that, and then quickly realized this is not a topic that he should be mentioning. So I'll play, if we need to play it again, I can, but listen to this quick one.
They're suing banks because they want to consider whether or not they're environmentally. Anyway, I won't get into all that.
Did you hear that?
Oh yeah, caught it. Yeah, I mean, totally caught it. This is exactly what they're doing. It's scary when banks start doing it, right?
And they're getting pressure, though. They're getting pressure from the
powers that be.
Yeah, I mean, this is like all Klaus Schwab. This is World Economic Forum stuff, you know? And so there's pressure everywhere. I'm glad that companies are pushing back. That's good. They should sue banks. Banks aren't supposed to look at what your personal beliefs are when you're running a business, a legitimate business. I mean,
but why do you think that Target is doing what it does? Why do you think that all of these, all these big companies have already started? They've implemented all this stuff, and it's starting to trickle down. And all these other, I mean, you can't tell me that Fox isn't already starting to do this stuff. I've seen articles floating around that they're already starting to do this crap too. So the companies that you think are like more conservative leaning, a lot of the conservative leaning companies are starting to do this crap too. So it's coming to a company near you.
It sucks, man. It's so awful. So I think we may have played a piece of this clip in the past before. This is way back when. We are going way back in time to when Joe Biden was a newly elected senator, one of the youngest, maybe the youngest.
He was the youngest. Yeah.
Yeah. And he is being asked about corruption in government. And so watching this now, and in hearing his attitude about it is just super fascinating. Check this out.
Senator Biden, it's nice to have you here. As the youngest member of the Senate, the one, therefore, who may expect the longest career there, I wonder if you'd say to us, since it's clear that you're not corrupt and you got elected, why should people think that the system produces corrupt results when there you are?
Well, I'm not sure you should assume I'm not corrupt, but thank you for that, though. The system does produce corruption, and I think implicit in the system is corruption, when in fact, whether or not you can run for public office, and it costs a great deal of money to run for the United States Senate, even from a small state like Delaware, you have to go to those people who have money, and they always want something. We were told that we politicians, as the young kids say, rip off the American public. I think the American public, in a way, rips off we politicians by forcing us to run the way they do. To raise $300,000 is no mean feat. And unless you happen to be some sort of anomaly, like myself, being a 29-year-old candidate and can attract some attention beyond your own state, it's very difficult to raise that money from a large group of people. I'm a 29-year-old oddball. The only reason I was able to raise the money is I was able to have a national constituency to run for office. Because I was 29, I'm like the token black or the token woman. I was the token young person. I went to the big guys for the money. I was ready to prostitute myself in the manner in which I talk about it. But what happened was they said, come back when you're 40, son.
Amazing, right?
Isn't it remarkable? Yeah. Steve said he's hot.
Doesn't he look like the oldest 29-year-old in the world?
Yes, I was just going to say that. I was like, when I watched that the first time, I was like, there's no way he's 29. But if you look at people from that era, everybody looks older. Everybody.
Isn't that weird?
Even in the 80s, you look at 50-year-old women, you're like, there's no way that they're in their 50s. Everybody looks younger now. It's just so crazy. Yeah. I don't know. Yeah, he's 29 years old, you guys. Look at that hairline. It's awesome.
Wow. And the sideburns, man. Those are some but he's openly admitting, corruption. It's corrupt AF. And when you're in it for that long,
oh my God.
Of course he is corrupt. Of course.
The dude has never had a real job. Never.
Yeah.
I mean, he's just like Bernie Sanders. What do you got? I mean, never had a real job. None of these schmucks. I mean, they don't know what it's like. So when they get up on these podiums and they preach to you about how life should be and how your job should be in this industry and that industry, you don't know. You don't know. Yeah. It's not the way it's supposed to be. They are not supposed to be in office that long. Term limits, man. I swear.
Oh my God, right?
Yeah.
Yeah. It's time. It is time. And you know what, to his point though, from way back when, wouldn't it be great if there was no money in politics? If that if that wasn't a requirement to get elected? That's, I mean, I don't know how we ever extricate it, but like, man.
It would be, but then there's a part of me that's like, then you get the Tiger Kings, you know? That's the only thing that I think I get it. I mean, I do think that there should be less money, but there's a part of me that thinks you should have to raise maybe a little bit, because you're going to get your like extreme weirdos running if you just can have any person jumping in. I mean, I do think there should be some semblance of a hurdle to get into public office. Like you should work a little bit for it, you know, to get in. But you're right. Like that much money, it's millions of dollars, right? You get to raise millions.
He's
and millions
talking 300,000. Oh my God.
Right.
That would pay for like a half-second commercial at this point.
Yeah. But millions and millions of dollars they have to raise. I mean, like normal people can't do that. I could never do that. There's no way I could raise millions and millions of dollars to run for office. So, I mean, regular people can't do it, which sucks. But I mean, there should be something you should have to raise. I get that.
Yeah. I don't know what the answer to it is exactly.
I don't know.
But man, the way it is now is insane. And speaking of Biden, there's a lot more chitter chatter happening about whether or not he actually will be the Democrat nominee. Now, from a selfish standpoint, we all should hope that he is.
He is.
Because he's going to be, out of anybody, the easiest to beat if we can beat him. And I hope we can. But he, out of anybody, would be the easiest to beat. However, it's starting to sound from more and more people like he will not be the nominee. Take a look at Hannity's panel on this.
Is ultimately, will there be any prominent Democrat that challenges Joe? And do you think Joe will be the nominee in 2024? Ronnie Jackson, you go first.
Somebody's going to challenge him. He's not going to be the nominee. He can't make it that far. It's too far out.
Governor Mike Huckabee.
I think somebody will challenge him. It very well could be Gavin Newsom. Joe Biden won't be the nominee one way or the other. He'll be either defeated or somebody will convince him it's time for him to step aside, go to Delaware, drive the Corvette, and go through all those boxes of classified materials that he kept.
Charlie Hurt.
I agree completely. I think that in the end, he'll be taken out by party leadership.
Okay, now exit question. Governor Huckabee said it would likely be Newsom. Ronnie and Charlie, I want to know who you think it would be. Ronnie first.
I think it's going to be Newsom. I mean, he's the one that's that's pushing the hardest right now, and he's coming from a big state like California. The progressive left loves him, so I think it'll be Newsom, despite the fact that his own state's an absolute disaster.
Charlie, last word.
I can see Democrats going with that as the consensus, but the real barbarian at the gate would be RFK Jr. I would love to see what he would do to his party.
And it would be interesting to see how many Democrats push Kamala Harris to be the one to replace him.
Yeah, I could see all three of them up on a stage. Then with Marianne Williamson hanging out on her astral projection on the side. The woo-woo lady. Yeah, I could see all four of them. I could even see Pete Buttigieg putting his hat in the ring like last minute. My God. Yeah, all five of them. It's going to be interesting. But RFK Jr. is a formidable force, right? I mean, he's like getting in there and he's gaining traction. And it's like they don't want him to be there, but you can't stop that guy. I think people are.
You know what I worry about with him is that he's actually gaining traction with Republicans.
Right.
And that he's not taking votes away from Biden.
Independents too. I think they're starting to see him as sort of like an alternative to both of the people.
Yeah.
Which is also it's also scary.
He's running as a Democrat though.
Right. But I think he could take votes away from like the middle, like those people who I don't understand.
Right. I know people always talk about the fact that, the same media, the same government, the same deep state that tried to take down Trump would do the same, no matter who the Republican nominee is. And I believe that that's true. However, when they are looking at someone kind of as squeaky clean as a DeSantis, it turns out they're having a tough time doing it. The WAPO attempted to do a hit piece on the personal lives of the DeSantises. And as you're going to hear from Kaylee, it didn't go so well for them.
To the First Lady of Florida. It is. She's unstoppable. She's smart. She's strong. She's accomplished, and she's conservative. So she will be attacked. I read every word of this hit piece last night. It was in the Washington Post. It was north of 5,000 words. And the animating themes were this. Okay, they love being around each other, Ron DeSantis and Casey DeSantis. They're private, and when he was in Congress, he would leave if the vote was at noon, he'd be on his way to the airport at 12:06 because he wanted to see his family. Sounds like a great marriage to me. And then the other complaint about Ron DeSantis was this. There were three things he liked to talk about with his staff: the Constitution, baseball, and golf. I mean, okay, why is this bad? So my takeaway from this is the most flattering hit piece I have ever read. And this is the worst thing they have on the DeSantises? Wow, what a great family, a role model family, I would say.
I mean, that
So it
would
didn't
probably
go very well.
That would probably be me. Like if I were in office, I would just, because I'm kind of a homebody. I like being at home. I like
Same.
being with my family. I would not be that person who would want to be like, let's go have cocktails after, it's like, I don't want to be with you people. I want to be with my family. So it's like these DC people, they're just a whole different breed. It's like a lot of them just don't want to be around their families, Nancy Pelosi. So, it's like, so I think that there is like, they don't get it. They don't understand somebody who actually wants to be a family guy or a family woman.
But I love that. I love that that's the worst that they can find on him is that, he was in a rush to get home on the weekends.
So I think people, that will resonate with people like, like us who are like, well, duh, that's what normal people want to do. You schmucks. Yeah. Hello. So that's not, it's so funny that is a hit piece.
Right.
Like that's somehow going to make us go, God, what a jerk. He wants to be at home. Okay.
But it also shows that because that they've tried. They have tried to dig up whatever dirt they can on him, and there is nothing. That's why, people who say they're going to do to anybody what they did to Trump, I don't think they will, because they don't have the same amount of stuff to dig up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like Trump's been an open book.
Yeah, they're going to have to fabricate it. They're going to have to make it up if they want to make it up. And then people will be like, whatever. So
they tried that with the beers. Remember with those?
Yeah, with the girls
at the party.
The worst thing that they're going to be able to do with him is just say he has no personality, right? Or he's just, that's all they're going to be able to do, which we hear that all the time. So I don't give a shit about his personality. I just want him to do a good job. Just like I didn't give a shit about Trump, his personal life, really. I just wanted him to do a good job. I just want these people to do a good job at what they do. It's like, I don't care. When I worked for companies, I never cared about my CEO's personal life. I just wanted my CEO to run the company well so I could benefit from that. That's it. So do your job. Yeah.
Thank you, Swamp Saga City. They're saying, Mock, if Trump had gone through boxes and returned documents, they still would have used it as evidence against him of intent to possess those documents. I just think there would have been a difference had he cooperated before a subpoena had ever happened. We would not be here if he had not tried to. They're accusing him of concealing, not just keeping, but concealing and then waving around documents. That would have totally not been an issue if he would have just been like, here.
I still think they would have gotten him on something, Miriam.
I don't know, but they would. But would it have been as damning of an indictment? Like, would they have gone forward with an indictment that just said he had documents? They needed more than that. because they had to get more in order to be able to not compare it to Biden, to Pence, to whoever.
Perhaps not, but if they wouldn't have gotten him on this, they would have gotten him on something else. They would have stopped at nothing to get him on something. And so it's just like the buck just stopped with this one. But if they wouldn't have, I mean, seriously, there's so many fires with him. They would have found something to indict him for. They have just been salivating on how are we going to indict this guy? How are we going to put him in jail? I mean, it's like, it would have been something. That's all they want, is to put this guy in jail and destroy him. I mean, they've been trying to do this for how many years now? So, I mean, honestly, it would have been something.
We need something to liven up the place. And I know just the thing.
What's that?
It's a raccoon. And then I promise we'll get to Hemsworth later. But first, before we get to whack, I wanted to show you guys what it looks like when you try to take grapes from a raccoon.
He's like,
look at his little hand.
No.
You guys, look
Don't
at his
take that.
hands.
Don't take that. I mean, I don't like people taking my grapes. I don't like it when people take my grapes. Those are my grapes. So cute.
So cute. Anyway, we just needed that because it's been like a rough day today.
It's been a lot of stuff.
Man, Titanic and like election
Trump.
stuff. Bleh.
Yeah.
Anyway, it's time for whack.
Okay, you guys, the whack today, I don't know if you saw this, but it's basically a pigeon on some sort of steroids.
Hang on, let me get the picture.
You got to show the picture.
Everything is slow today.
It was, it is kind of slow. It was floating around on social media yesterday. People were freaking out. They're like, did this pigeon skip leg day? What's going on? What is this? But this is a legit real pigeon. I can't remember the name. I think
it's got a great name.
It's got a name.
It's the fancy pants powder.
That's the name of it. It's a real pigeon. And I can't remember where it was spotted either, but it's an English breed of pigeon.
Mm-hmm.
And it's real. So I can't imagine if this thing showed up in my backyard, I would be like,
you'd be getting a shotgun out.
I would be like, what is this thing? I'd let it pass. But my luck, it would fly into my window in the back and like kill itself because they're all suicidal in my backyard. But that is a pigeon, you guys. Isn't that crazy? It's just
a fancy pants powder pigeon.
All over TikTok, all over Instagram yesterday. I just thought this was the craziest looking bird. And people were like, what? Is it a mutant? Is it like some sort of Pokemon pigeon? What is it? It's kind of crazy. You're right. You're right. It would be good eating. It would be really, really good eating. It would probably taste like chicken.
God, I mean, it does look kind of, it looks menacing. You know what I mean? For a pigeon. It looks like a very menacing bird.
It looks scary. It just looks like one of those, like an Arnold Schwarzenegger pigeon.
Anyway.
It's crazy. There you go. So that's your whack. I thought that was the wackest pigeon ever. Everybody needed to see that if you hadn't already seen it. Mm-hmm. Yeah.
That is quite whack. So yesterday, Daisy and I were sharing with each other some TikToks of some handsome fellas. Let's just put it that way.
This is how we cope with news of the day, you guys.
And one of those handsome fellas is Chris Hemsworth, who already is like ridiculously good looking, right? I mean, he's just ridiculous. But the voice.
I listened to this on a loop yesterday. It's just very soothing.
The voice, man. It's because you know how David Beckham is gorgeous, but then he talks and you're like, please stop.
You're like, just don't. Just
don't
like
speak.
Put it on silent and just take your clothes off. You know what I mean?
Right. I mean, but Chris Hemsworth is the whole thing.
Is. It's like
he's got all the things.
A perfect specimen. Mm-hmm.
And so you're going to hear from him. You're going to see him, obviously, but you're going to hear from him. And that's actually the best part.
Yeah.
It's actually the sound of a glove going on. Here we go. Oh, it's going to explode all over my white t-shirt. Oh, my face. Stop punching that because it's going all over my clothes. Hello, I'm Chris Hemsworth, and today I'm going to be doing some action ASMR. Breaking bones. Oh. It's an action movie staple by the end of this. we might just have enough food to cook a proper meal. Oh, God. In the film, actually, I literally rip a man's hand in half, and it sounded like this. And then when you're done, you snack away on it. No food was wasted in this process. It all will be eaten by me. Extraction 2. Please check it out. I love you.
Oh, God. That was just... Are you guys okay? Are you women
Is everybody okay?
All the women are like, I need a cigarette. I need...
And yes, that is his real voice. That is his actual voice.
Good Lord. I've got the vapors.
Deborah saying that's an awful accent. Are you high?
What is wrong with you?
Oh,
seriously.
My gosh.
What is wrong?
Glorious.
You know what Mock made me do? We were together the last time.
Oh my God, what?
We were together and Mock was like, she had her phone with her and like on GPS. She had it set to a dude with an Australian accent. And I'm like, oh my God, this is the greatest thing. So we were going around Arizona for our meet and greet. Everywhere we went, it was an Australian dude giving us directions. And I'm like, I'm totally switching mine immediately to an Australian dude. So now my car, when it gives me directions, it's an Australian. Isn't it
so much better?
So much better, except for here's the worst part is that now my husband, I think, has a touch of jealousy. Just a little.
Ron totally does. He's so mad.
My husband gets pissed off. He's like jerk. Like you can tell he's pissed off at the dude because I'm like because the dude is so sultry, giving me these sultry Australian directions, and you can tell my husband wants to kick his ass. And I'm just like, honey, it's a GPS guy, but I can tell he's getting irritated.
Oh yeah,
it's really,
I get mad.
It's just a GPS guy,
But it is way better than the normal Siri. Like it's just so much better
Right.
because he's like, yeah, turn right.
And I'm like, and I'll actually talk back up. I'm like, quite right. Quite right.
It's so much better, you guys. If you have an iPhone, you can change this. You can get your map person to be the Australian dude. It's so much better.
And then I tell my husband, I'm like, listen, you can change yours to a sultry like English lady. He's like, no, I'm not going to do that to you. And I'm like, I swear to God. Ridiculous.
Oh my gosh. All right. We got to bring back our favorite Kamala impersonator. The end of this is my favorite thing. I died, but she's phenomenal at impersonating her.
Happy Juneteenth. Please have a seat. Please have a seat. To my divine family. Good evening, everyone. I'm an asshole.
Oh my God, it's the greatest.
I love her so much.
I do too.
Love
So
her.
great.
We did not show this clip of Fetterman yesterday introducing, I don't even know the name of the guy that he was introducing.
He doesn't either. He doesn't either.
Well, he clearly doesn't, which is why the guy, when he gets to the podium, actually says, my name is whatever it is. Because it didn't go well in the introduction. Here, check this out.
It's a pleasure to be here and to introduce my friend, Congressman Boyle Bile.
Boyle Bile.
His name is Boyle Bile.
It's really Brendan Boyle.
Well, thank you. I'm Congressman Brendan Boyle.
Oh my God. His name isn't Boyle Bile. Like it's
just really unfortunate mess up there. Yikes.
No, that's not my name at all. My name is not Boyle Bile. Good Lord.
Oh my God. Also, look at this monkey. He's so tired.
He's so sleepy.
But also, he really wants to smile.
That's the greatest.
The little eyebrow wiggle just kills me, man. Oh my God.
Oh my God, that's so great.
I don't remember what this is. We're just gonna wing it. Oh, yes, I do. Okay, here we go.
On today's episode of Oh Shit.
Oh my God.
shit.
Now, I did see a disclaimer that the kid is absolutely fine. Everything is fine.
The kid is okay. There was every time I see those videos of like kids getting pushed over by dogs and stuff like that, you know, and then I run straight to the comments. I run straight to them because there's always the Karens who are like, "This is evil. This is wrong.
Right.
This is terrible. This is child abuse." And I'm like, "Oh my God, the kid is fine. The kid is fine."
Oh my gosh. All right. This woman wants you to know that you need to stop being jealous of her. I love her so much. Play.
I don't know how many times I have to address this, but it's just getting so old. I can't help that I wake up looking so flawless. I can't help that I wake up with a fatty dump truck. I can't help that I wake up with the voluptuous dream goals body every day. Show this to your freaking surgeon. You know what I'm look at that. I can't help it. God is working in my life and what am I supposed to do? Block my blessings? You want me to block my blessings? I'm out here living the dream and I can't help it. So just be happy for me.
Show your freaking surgeon, you guys.
Show your surgeon. Actually, she had a really cute figure.
Oh my God, she's totally cute figure, but she clearly does not have the current fascinating like bubble butt.
Like, is that what it is? It's like, I don't understand it. I don't understand all of that.
It has to be thick now with two C's.
With two C's.
Right.
Two C's. Right.
You got to have the thick.
Mm-hmm.
And she clearly is not that person. She has the kind of butt everybody wanted when we were growing up. When we were like, do these make my butt look big? And you didn't want them to.
You didn't want, and
now you want them to.
I just make up your mind, society. I can't
well,
keep
it's the
up.
Kardashians' fault. I mean, it's completely their fault.
Yeah, everything is their fault. The culture's demise is their fault. The collapse of Western civilization as we know it is the Kardashians' fault. Yes. Mm-hmm.
Somebody's like, is it weird that I thought she was just mad? No, that's the funny part. She's making fun of herself. She doesn't really believe those things.
She doesn't believe it.
The whole thing was sarcasm. So
yeah.
I'm sorry that did not come across.
Right.
All right. We can't leave without having a husky. So this is a reminder to me and to everybody else who has these fleeting moments where you think, I should get a husky.
Yeah.
This is for you.
Don't do it. Don't. You may want to think about that before you get you may want
second thoughts.
Ponder the whole husky decision. Just ponder that.
Just
just think
consider
about
it carefully.
You may want to do a pros and cons list on that.
Is it weird that like when I saw that last night, I wasn't even particularly hearing as much as I was like, oh my God, their teeth are so clean. Like all of those dogs' teeth looked so good.
Yeah.
And I was like, what are they? I wonder what they do.
I don't know. Maybe it's certain breeds. Because when we went to that party this past Friday night, he had 2 Vizslas and their teeth were so white.
Really?
Yeah. My husband and I kept commenting. We were like, how do they do that? They whiten their teeth? Like, what are they doing to their teeth? They're so beautiful.
Wow.
Yeah. I don't know. It's like, is it a
Maybe
breed?
it is a breed thing.
Is it a breed thing? Yeah. Because they just have the most beautiful, or are they giving them some sort of substance to whiten their teeth? Like, you can give them certain bones. I don't know. But
I mean, they look amazing. But yeah, that's
maybe
a lot
they
of
brush
screaming.
them. I don't brush my dog's teeth. I'm sorry. It's way too much
I don't either.
maintenance.
I know you're supposed to, but I don't.
Listen,
that's
I'm
a
sorry,
lot.
but were they brushed in the wild? I mean, come on.
I mean, in the
everybody.
wild, they were wolves and they didn't have to worry about that.
I mean, this seriously, that right there, that's a wolf. You see that? It's a rabid wolf. Look at that.
That Cash would live outside and survive for 2 days tops.
Oh my God. He'd survive for about 12 hours. And then he'd be like, where's my couch?
So he's not
getting up. He's napping. He's thinking about going and chasing squirrels in the wild.
Someone asked about Maisie. Thank you for asking. She is doing absolutely fantastic. She's completely healed. She's cone free. She's back to her normal expressionless self.
She's like, that's Maisie when she's happy. Maisie when she's sad.
Right.
That's amazing. You guys. Okay,
That's
everybody bring it
amazing.
in. Everybody bring it in. Big hugs. It's a Tuesday hug. Oh my goodness, you guys have a fantastic Tuesday, and we will talk to you tomorrow.
Bye.